welcome to McGowan's Canvas Miracles. We got a special show today. One of my favorite guests of all time is here. Claudine Morris, she's been doing great work in our community, and in a world where it seems like sometimes everything's crashing down on us, she's kind of like one of those bright lights in the darkness, sort of bubbles up and makes your heart feel good. And what a great story we got ahead today. So, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
And you're excited about painting? Are you a little nervous?
Oh yes, really excited.
You've never painted before, have you?
Never. I do good stick people.
We'll do something good. We'll just paint some sand, a beach, or whatever, have some fun.
Okay.
Yeah, the painting doesn't matter all that much. All that matters is that you have some fun and the great stories that you're going to tell. So, for people that don't know, we met one day. Every morning I go down to this park and I sit and talk to God, do prayers, do meditations, write poetry. It's actually, I wrote a lot of poetry every day and sort of set my day as of what's going to happen, just trying to figure out.
Did you write one about me?
I have, many of the time. And then, so one day you pulled in your car there, and I was like, because I usually was gone before you get there, but this particular day you pull in, I look and you're handing sandwiches out, and the homeless people are coming, and you're starting to feed people, and you started telling me your story. It was one of the most heartfelt stories I ever heard in my life. So what got you wanting to help the homeless?
Well, it started through my own pain. It started through the process of watching my son die for 11 years slowly, everything going on him from graduating to me doing everything like as if he was a baby again. In that process of time, I felt very abandoned. I felt very alone. I felt no one understood, and no one wanted to talk about it. So it left a big giant hole. And God taught me a lot about myself. I think I was a very selfish woman in my youth. And as I was taking care of my son, I would often hear God say, "Die to self, die to self. Those things are not about you, they're about him." And
so what was your son sick with?
he was sick with Huntington, which is a disease that affects the brain, that functions the body, part of the body. He went from losing the ability to use his hand to everything. And in his last days, I was doing everything for him. He was a wonderful boy, not perfect. He had a little past by himself.
So you really cherished that time you got to spend with him.
Yes,
was what you
and one thing I wanted him to know, that he was never a burden, that what I did out of love, and I always told him that it was an honor to take care of him. This little one, or do I need a bigger one?
I'm going to give you this one, so I'm just going to put one on here so you can see. I'll just sort of make the beach here. So we're going to use this color, so we're mixing a little brown, a little orange, and a little white. And just making a beachy sort of sand color. So you're going to take this here.
Well, sounds easy to you. I don't remember that.
So this here that I got mixed for you, just make yourself a little sandy beach. Think of some beach that you want to be on the corner of your canvas. Easy, nothing to it.
Start with this?
Yep. You can add a little water if it doesn't spread out.
Can I draw trees? Because I don't want to be on the beach. I want to be in the camp in the woods.
Oh, you like camping?
Well, not camping with a tent, but camping with a nice camp with a brook in front of it.
Oh, yeah? Well, that'd be nice.
That would be my dream. I don't like cities.
So how long did you say you were spending with your son at home and taking care of him? How long did that go
From 2011 till 2022.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's quite a long time.
Oops, I think I put too much.
That's all right. Put a little white and brown in there.
Where's the brown?
Right there.
Oh, right there.
Yeah. And just mix it all together, yeah.
Can I paint a tree?
Good job.
That's the mountain range. That's where the camp by the mountain range.
Beautiful. So make it a little swervy, just like some of the sand is coming in. And
I'll put some pepper.
good job. So after spending all this time with him, and you're spending time, you're talking with God and your son, and you're trying to sort through the whole thing. So he dies. How long after you decide that you're going to do the mission? And the mission's named after your son, right? It's called Jeremy's
Yes.
Mission? Yeah, which is quite
But can I share
amazing.
something
Sure.
before I go there?
Sure.
My son had a lot of healing in himself before he died. He got a chance to say goodbye to his ex-girlfriend that he loved very much, and got to talk about the death of his son, who died also from Huntington. He got a chance to relive his life with his aunt and uncle and my niece.
Yeah.
And gets a little emotional because
Oh, that's understandable.
he had lost a lot too. He had lost the chance because he didn't get to bring up his child. He didn't get to do the things he would have liked as a father because he didn't know how to cope. And he got a chance to say goodbye. First thing he told his ex-girlfriend, I like to share about things that are real. I don't pretend things me. First thing he said to her, and he couldn't talk, don't smoke. Because she didn't want him in his life because he
Yeah.
talked.
Okay.
But, God is so good. And he gave his heart to God before he died because God took him in a dream. But he said some girl came up to him and she said, I'm your sister. And I had lost a baby he didn't know about. So a week later, he gave his heart to the Lord. But the effect on me of knowing there was a daughter in heaven, now I have a son in heaven, that to me was a gift from God. And I wanted to serve God because how he served me for those 11 years.
When you finally decide you're going to go out, what's the first day like? I'm thinking, how do you...
Well, the first thing was I was petrified.
I'd imagine, yeah.
I called Pastor Arsenault and I said, Pastor, I said, God told me, well, it was a scripture that God gave me. He said, I said to him, I was 2 months after he died. I said, what am I supposed to do now, God? I said, I've done what I needed to do here. What about my life? I have no life. I have nothing. I have a daughter out there and my grandchildren, and I love them, but they have their lives. But what was there for me? And then I heard very clearly, and I don't care who thinks I'm nuts, but I heard him say, I have sons and daughters out there. I want you to show them my love. So, because in the process of taking care of my son, I learned unconditional love. When I said I was selfish, it was what I could get out of things. And through my son, I learned that it was about giving, to sell pies, to make ends meet. And one day, and I didn't have a freezer, and I put the pies in the cooler, and with some wood on top. But the dog next door got bigger and knocked it off and ate all my pie. And I was crying so hard in the morning. And I woke up Jeremy. This was at the first of his illness, the first few years of it. He was mobile then. I was crying so hard I woke him up because I think I was just wiped from trying to do everything. My marriage had ended, my son's diagnosed, everything. And Jeremy said, Mom, what is wrong? I said, look, and I showed him all the pies strewed out, and that was a couple of $100 worth of pie I had made. He said, Mom, I'll give you my pot money. He liked this pot. So you put this on, I don't care, because this is my story. I said, I can't do that, but I felt God say, no, he's telling you how much he loves you. And I took the money. But that was how he could tell me how much he loved me. There's so many stories. I could write a book.
Oh, you should. You should. It's an amazing story. So you get out, and you got a kitchen, you start making up
I started,
some
well,
So what did you
first,
decide you were going to make?
I decided, I was trying to think what I could make that would fill them up. All I had was an old cooler So I tested the coffee. I made a couple of cups of coffee, put it in the cooler, and see how long it would last. And I found out it'd last almost 3 hours. So I was good there. So then I thought, what could I make that would fill them up? Because I had seen them doing the bins and stuff. So I thought, okay, a bagel is filling, cheese, some eggs, maybe ham or bacon. And that's how I started.
And you didn't have no money,
No, I didn't. I used my own money.
which you didn't have much of. Just struggling away.
But anyway, but it was, and one of the things I said on my journey was, for a whole year I said it, I don't say it anymore. I said, God, if this is me trying to fill that hole that's inside of me, I said, take me out of the way. I don't want to do this. But I said, if it's you, I'll keep moving forward. And I remember going out to out of the coal shelter over here. I think it was just down by Tim Horton there, the rink. And I was scared. Oh, I was scared. Anyway, according to Charlene Summers, who was there working at the time, she said, Mama, you just came in there and you start serving them. I don't remember. I was so scared. But then, by the next day, I was in love with them. I was in love with what I saw, that they were so lost. And it just broke my heart. And then I just kept going. 6 days a week, I just kept going. I know one day, one of them had acted out and they had to put him outside, and it was storming. And I arrived there. Here he was sleeping on the step in a sleeping bag. Mm-hmm. And I thought, that can't be someone in that. And it was. But see, he was very, not abusive. He was out of control. Mm-hmm.
Like, was he on drugs or something maybe, or on some kind of influence?
Yeah, some kind of influence, and plus some of the issues. There's a lot of mental issue out there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, finally I gave him a meal, and I said, if you're not allowed in, I said, you be around here in the morning, and I'll give you your breakfast on the go. And for quite a while, he would show up. He'd show up so bad that I couldn't even go somewhere. He would see my car. He would come out and see what I would buy him. But, it just went like that. And then I would call Pastor Ray and cry. I would cry.
And Pastor Ray.
Pastor Ray Arsenault.
He's from the Skyway to Heaven church.
He's from my church, Skyway to Heaven.
Yeah, and so he was a big help.
He was a big help. Well, he was a big help for me emotionally when I was going through my stuff with Jeremy. He'd come and pray with Jeremy, sometimes talk with me. And I needed that because I didn't have anybody to really talk to, you know. And I I had already kind of started attending church, but then I had to stop. But we became friends. Pastor Ray and I are good friends now, and he understands me. He understands my quirkiness. He gets a good kick out of it. I'm always laughter for the day sometimes. But
so when I met you, I remember thinking, how's she going to do all this? And at the time, Pastor Albertine, she was looking for ways to help with food bank and the program she was at. And I said, well, why don't we put a freezer at Life Radio where I worked, and we'll start there and try to, because it's hard. There's a lot of stuff. So that got you in contact with another sort of another step in the thing. And tell me about how that went, and you started having a little bit of help to...
Well, I started with them helping me, and I just put a post recently to kind of acknowledge that. I should have acknowledged them a whole lot more than I did. Most people don't realize, but my days were 10 hours.
Yeah, well, it went from helping this one guy to now there's a whole bunch that come every day. What are you up to a day you're feeding every morning now?
We could be 40. Today was down for some reason. We don't understand because certain days go right down. Mm-hmm. But we've had up to 50-something.
Wow. And
a few times in the summer, we've had them there waiting. And I'm 9 o'clock and I'm out. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? And but God always been faithful. When I stopped worrying about the stuff coming in, because if
So you're going to paint some green now. It's a little bit of yellow and blue. Keep talking. So you're just going to come in. This is water starting to come into your beach, is what it's going to be later on. So just paint a little bit of the green, roll it into your brown edge.
so,
Yeah, use this here stuff. Yeah. And you can come over the edge because the water would go over the sand, obviously. So that's good.
oh yeah, this one's nice.
Yeah. So just paint a line down like this, straight down, right over the sand. There you go. And then fill it in about
Well, it
halfway
kind
back
of
on your
dries.
page.
It kind of goes in a little bit, sometimes
Yeah.
like that.
Welcome back to McGowan's Canvas Miracles. Well, we had to stop for a minute, take a little, gather ourselves up again,
Yeah.
feel a little better. So emotional. And I don't know what we're doing with this mess of this paint, but who cares? It's such a fun story and touching and heartwarming. The one thing when I first met you, you know, I give you a few dollars, whatever I had in
Yeah.
the bucket, whatever, but it must have been so hard. Like even in I thought, she's doing all this out of your pocket, and like you must have just gone home and like, how am I going to get the money to do it tomorrow and tomorrow? And
I don't know
tomorrow?
why. I never felt that because God provided so many things for me when my son was dying. Because I remember saying to him, well, how am I going to do this when I get there? And he said, don't worry, today is the day, today I provide. So I use that same motto for my mission. It fell into place. I told my pastor, and I got some money from that church. And then you donated quite a bit, even a coffee machine. I know it was a kettle, I think, eh?
Yeah, coffee cups, machines,
Yeah,
I mean, just
coffee
different
cups
stuff,
and
all
stuff.
the things. All the
And
things
he
we
would
need.
come in. And then,
And then we got the freezer in the church.
yeah, we
and
got the
stuff.
freezer. Pastor A, a new boat. I had talked to Albertine, and that's his Blackville Resource Center,
That helped a lot. Yeah.
which is an awesome group. Remember that, guys. They came and helped. Pastor Ray, the church started giving me an amount every month after a couple of months. One thing I want to acknowledge, and there's so many stories, but one thing I think is so important right now is an incident happened to me not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. There was a young guy on Christmas Eve showed up crying. He said, those bling bling Christian don't care. I said, well, Sonny, I said, I care. I'm here, and I'm a Christian. And out of that, I've kind of felt God leading me to starting to see if I could go speak at churches. If I could get some of the churches on board. And I've gone to quite a few churches, quite a few programs, whatever, and I've spoken. And I usually just speak from my heart, the words God says to me. And it's always surprising because it's never the same. But out of that, right now we have Community Church came on board. And they make meals now, 200 or more a month. We have the Point Church. The Point Church came on board at Christmas time. They, Pastor Jeff said, what can we do right now that would be helpful? And I said, well, it's Christmas time. It would be nice to have something to give out to them at Christmas time. So we came to an agreement about getting a backpack with full of items. And it was amazing that they did that, because I didn't have the budget. I wanted to do something, but I didn't have the budget for it. Then after that, they started doing breakfast sandwich. And they do 200 to 290 whenever their funds come in. They have a team, a Bible study team. And they do, I haven't posted any picture yet. And they do breakfast, and they bring it to me. So I don't have to cook breakfast. So I love that. But it's still long days because that cuts about an hour and a half off my work, which is good.
Tell me about, so you're there, and you do other stuff too. I see people get in your car to get warm when they're
Oh.
frozen, and they sit in your car and they change, and you're handing clothes out of your trunk, and you're doing all kinds of stuff. So tell me, just give me, don't use names or anything, but
No.
one of the stories, sometimes it must be, I know some of the stories, so sometimes it's a little shocking and a little hard on the heart, and you've gotten really tough, considering that first day when you were scared to death.
Yeah.
Some of the things. Tell me some of those stories where you got.
Well, we have, like I said, a lot of mental illness, and then you add drugs to it, so they kind of talk and they use language, because I have rules over there. There's certain things they can't do. But there's a couple of them I kind of don't say anything because it's part of their mental illness, because they swear.
Do this as you talk. So just paint that corner all blue with just the blue. Yeah, so they're mental illness and they
So,
swear.
you know, they get in the car, they warm up, and they hallucinate. One of them was keep seeing people behind, and he'd say, "You, beep, beep."
Yeah.
And then he'd look at me and say, "Not you, Mama, not you. It's the one in the back." He is my joy. He is my joy. Every time I watch his videos online from recovery, I cry. He shared with me things that I don't think he ever shared again with anybody. Is that okay?
Yeah. So now you're going to take and you're going to make it real watery, and you're going to keep going right over the green with a watery one. So this is a gradient. So what you're doing now is you're making this green show through the blue water. On that story of when you said that, you know, even helping one out, it reminded me of that there's an old story about a man, he comes down on the beach, and I love to tell this on the radio a lot, where he sees this little girl throwing starfish into the water. Have you ever heard that story? Yeah.
Yes, I've heard that story.
And he says, "What are you doing?" He says, "It's just a waste of time, right?" And you must feel like that sometimes. People say, "Oh, this is a waste of time."
Yes, I've even felt that sometime.
Sure. Well, of
But
course,
then
it must be frustrating.
when Randy,
You're good, honey. That's good as far as you go, yeah.
honey, whoa,
I
haven't heard that in a long time.
Now just take and wipe like this. Just your beach off.
Just part?
Yeah. Yeah, and the little girl says that, you know, it's not a waste of time for that starfish or that starfish.
No.
So it's never a waste of time. What you're doing is an amazing, no, just your beach.
No, just my
your
beach.
honey.
I overwent on the beach.
That's all right.
Oh, that looks good there.
That actually creates like some sand under the water. Bob Ross is an old painter on TV, and he used to say the happy accident.
Yeah.
The happy accidents are always the fun. So you're making a huge impact, and if you think back from the days of the first guy, and you thought even it was just for him, to all the people you help and all the organizations that are working with you, and they all call you Mama. Everybody calls you Mama. I love that. And now so many people. How many meals are you at now?
In the past 2 years, it's about 1,700, 17,000.
17,000. I was
Yeah.
going to say 17,000 meals you've given out.
Yeah, in 2 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of mind blowing.
From one trailer, nervous,
Well,
shaking.
I started with 12. Started with 12.
No, I meant the first day when you told me you went to the cold shelter and the one fella there. You
Oh,
had
yeah.
12 that
no,
day? Or-
there was people inside.
Oh, there was. Okay.
There was people inside, and the funny thing, I'll tell you just a quick story about the guy that was outside in the snow. Was a guy, I had tried to bring some of my son's clothes to the Salvation Army before I started the mission. And there was, that young fellow was outside in the bin. And I approached him. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "I don't mean to scare you."
Was he sleeping in the bin that day, or
I
just
don't know if
getting
he was
warm or getting food or something?
Getting stuff in there. I'm not
Okay.
quite sure. I said, "You're looking for clothes?" He said, "Yeah." Well, I said, "I have some, my son." I said, "I got quite a bit," because every time I'd go, the mission was closed and I couldn't get the clothes away. So I tried third time, I met him. So I gave him the bag of clothes. And I said to him, I said, "There's more than you need in there, so share it." And I found out later he did.
Oh, awesome.
And that happened to be the guy who was in the sleeping bag. Now, I heard another story just last Sunday. We have one of the ladies that does her own mission has joined my church, and she's a beautiful soul. Chandra, I keep forgetting her last name, but she does the supper. And she said to me Sunday, the sermon was about, you know, doing just not being a Christian, but doing something with it. She tapped me on the shoulder. She was behind me. She said, "Do you know how I first heard about you?" She said, "My first night out," she said, "to do supper, we looked and we couldn't find anybody. So we happened to drive by the railroad track, and we saw this one guy. And this guy, he's the one who told her about me. He said, 'Did you ever hear about Jeremy's mission, Mama?' And this guy's name was Jeremy."
Oh, wow.
Well, when she told me that Sunday, I lost it. Because it was just like God was pointing her, and here we are in church together. And, you know, and we had kind of connected a little bit here and there, but never really, you know, on to the point where we're at now. But the fact that she said she found out about me through a guy named Jeremy, it's pretty amazing.
That is amazing.
You know, and that's what happens to my mission. It's like I get a lot of these kind of a moment that says, "Claudine, you're still on the right track. You're still on the right track." And there are so many people out there. I don't want to take all the credit, and I don't think it's about me. Right now, I'm kind of enjoying the ride, if you want to know the truth. Not that I want to be known, but I think for me, it's been the fact of I got a family, a large family of people I love out there, and they love me. The other workers from, you take Genesis Project, you take, what's it called, the Housing Solution out of coal. Those girls who run that are amazing, except for one. Her name is Melissa. She told me I was reminding her of her mother, so I treat her like a mother. I growl her. But I love those girls. And then there's, like I said, Chandra from the supper. And then there's a lot of the staff. And you take Blackville Resource. The lady who drives brings me all the stuff. Her name is Joy. Her name is perfect. She's full of joy. And then I have these wonderful, wonderful people that come in. They're amazing. And there's one of them, he's not well right now. And him and his wife, his name is Billy, and his wife is Esther. Beautiful people. They've been coming to my site 3 times a week with sweets.
Wow.
But right now he has severe health problems.
Okay. You're going to paint a white edge along your beach. So you're starting to sort of get an idea now of where we're going with the painting. It's just water coming into the beach. Just a simple concept. Nothing hard. So now, you got lots of people helping now, and there's actually, isn't there another group down there now too, behind the library and things, doing stuff as well?
Well,
so.
that's Chandra. She does
that
this,
is Chandra. Okay.
That's Chandra. Her and her mother do the suppers on Thursday night and Friday night.
Okay, awesome.
So, I mean, there's so many people out there helping. It's quite amazing. But I think I want the community of the Miramichi to know how they're greatly appreciated. Their heart is so big.
Oh, yeah. Well, these things wouldn't be possible if people weren't coming down and donating and bringing food and bringing cash and things to help out, clothing, blanket, whatever it might be. But they should drop by and see it for sure.
Yeah.
And the mission is you still do all your work in front of the library, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So
I'd like to have a building, but there's a part of me that'll miss that place because it's been special to me. It's you were there, and out of that, believe it or not, you were part of that mission by putting me on.
Yeah, we went to the radio at Life
the
Radio.
Life
we got
Radio.
that going.
We did that, and then from that, other things came along. I've been telling people that I'm willing to go and speak. There's one I'm going to be speaking at next month. It's pretty close to my heart, and it's called Braveheart. And that one is, I think that's the one I'm the
most nervous about.
Most nervous about, because as far as emotion about my son, it's been an ongoing moments. There was, we did a post on my site about all the different groups, and then there's a song that was on. I can't remember the name of it, but it spoke to me so much about, it says, you're going to go on, and I'm going to start having joy and laughter again. I've laughed so hard in the last few days that I have muscles that are sore because I hadn't laughed that much. I have the most wonderful friends out there. They tease me so bad, but you know, I love it because it's the best kind.
Well, yeah, service it's incredible when you put your heart into something and you do good things happen.
Yeah.
We sort of reap what we sow in this world, and you're like the epitome of that. I watch you and the whole mission and everything, and the growth, and I remember one time I came, it was Valentine's Day or something.
Oh, yes, I like it.
Tell the story. I always have fun.
Oh, I
with
like
this.
that story. I said to God, I was making the breakfast, and I said to God, I said, and I've been alone 14 years. I said to God, oh, gosh. I said, another year, no man holding me for Valentine's. That's all I said. Then I forgot all about it. I really did. I didn't even dwell on it. It's just something that came out of me. God knows my sense of humor. Anyway, so I go to the site, and there's Rob. Doing his, I thought I'm not going to interrupt him, and then he happens to come out, and I had my original sign, which was an easel with made out of wood and everything. And my grandson was calling me, and I went to turn around, and I fell. And Rob picked me up, put me in his arm. I said, oh, Rob, you answered my prayer. I said, I asked God for a man to hold me today. Oh, my God, he laughed about that.
Oh, it was good fun.
That was good
I
fun.
smiled all day.
And it's an ongoing joke with Genesis Project. They still joke about that.
Oh yeah,
And Pastor Ray.
and Genesis just loves you, and that's one of the tiny home projects I was involved with. But they have a fella coming down and working with you, Scott.
That's another part I told you about. I said community church, the Point Church, but I keep pronouncing her name wrong. But Naluka.
Naluka, yeah.
Yeah, Naluka, and I have become friends, and I just love her. She's such a beautiful soul. Anyway, she and Scott, they agreed to, Scott started working for them, and they agreed to do 2 days a week for me. So he gets paid working for them, but they donate his time to my mission. And Scott is such a wonderful, wonderful person, and that was verified to me by God, because I was thinking about that yesterday, about the obedience sometime to God. I had gone visit my nephew. It was around Christmas time, and I spent an hour with him. He bought my homestead, which I had to let go. Mm-hmm. And and then there was an old lady I used to help, and I went by her house, and God said, you go see her. And I didn't want to. He said, go see her. So I went back. I went. She said, I want to go to church. I want to have communion. She's sickly. She said, but no one wants to take me. And I thought, oh, I don't want to go to church back home. I said, okay, I'll take you. So on Sunday, she gave me the wrong time. We were an hour ahead. I said, I'm not sitting here for an hour. I said, let's go for a drive. She said, can you take me to visit a friend of mine in Belfont? So we ended up at this house, and I happened to know the lady from way back. And this mother was so proud of her son. She was talking about her son, and he had got off a drug, and he was doing so well. She was so thrilled about it. So anyway, so that was it. And then went home. In the middle of the week, Pastor Ray calls. He said, Claudine, he said, I have the right guy for you. He said, he's awesome. He said, his name is Scott. I said, you're kidding me. I said, I know what you're telling me is true, and he's real, because his mother had just told me. So an hour later, here was Scott in my house, and we were talking and sharing.
It's incredible.
And it's incredible. It's just like, whoa. And here he is now, full time in my mission, 2 mornings a week.
We're going to take a short break. We're going to pause, and we're going to come back and continue on and the last segment and finish up our masterpiece here and have some fun with more of her story. And thank you for tuning in. This is one of those shows I'm really enjoying this. Welcome back to McGowan's Canvas Miracles. And if you've been listening today, I know your heart's been going up and down and throbbing, and it's an amazing story. And we're going to take a little bit of white, and along the edge of your white suds there, you're just going to dab it like this. Just tap it down on there. And this is going to create some sort of sudsy look on the end of your white. Yeah, beautiful. Just go back and forth in it, snake it around, and create some suds.
Oops, a little bit too much.
So nowadays, compared to the old days, you've got things going on, but there's still a long ways to go. We've still got people on the street and people that need help. And what do you think is the main thing that you can do in helping people from spending these years with them on the street?
Well, I think for me, it's not maybe what I can do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like as a community.
Well, as a community, I just want to share this. At the group I was telling you about, Melissa and them, Housing Solution.
Yeah.
They have just been able to place 4 of them in apartments.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And that is awesome, and I got permission from them to mention that. I'm so excited about that. But my concern is to teach them how to live. They've lived there. A lot of them are hoarders, but it's to teach them how to do life again. But I think, the community can come on board, or even the groups. It's to make it a place of learning for them how to cope in life again, how to do life. Because even myself, I'm learning how to do life again.
Oh, yeah. We all go through these ups and downs of life.
After 11 years, I didn't know how to live. I didn't know how I feel. And to be honest, I'm kind of waking up now. Just recently, I mean, the fact of talking at that, out of the coal shelter fundraiser, it was like surreal to me. Because, see, I'm a different kind of people.
We know. It's great. It's great.
But anyway, I've accepted who I am, and I kind of like myself, and that's a nice place to be. Because when I started going to church after my son died, I thought, I got to be this quiet church lady. That didn't last. That's not me. I think for me, God uses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. And the guys, they love me because I'll go dance with them, but I'll also hug them and joke with them. And I make life real for them right now.
It used to make me so nervous. You say things like, "Oh, I took him home to do laundry," or
I
did
did
things,
that.
and I think, "Oh my goodness!" But the stuff you we're yelling at a few here and there and getting them in order.
There was a fight one day out there, and one was pushing another guy, and for some reason, I just jumped out of the car, and I yelled out his name, and I said, "You stop it, and you go." And he was mad, but he stopped, and took him a month to come back, and he apologized. He said, "But Mama," he said, "the only voice I heard was yours in my rage." He said, "I heard your voice."
Isn't that something?
Isn't that something? I'll tell you another story that just happened recently. I had 2 come in. I won't say their names, but I had a couple come in, and the girl told me she'd just come out of a month or so before from Naomi and Ruth. She was there for a year. Well, she went right straight to the boyfriend again, and she's back on loss. And sometimes it's like it's the emotion with the parents too. This mother came and it was funny because they've not come back. But the mother came, not last week, the week before. And she said, "It took me 3 tries to come in and talk to you." I said, "Why?" She said, "I'm just nervous." I said, "Well, nothing to be nervous about with me." Anyway, we ended up talking. And we prayed, we cried together. And I said, "Is there a message for her if she happens to come back?" And so she gave me a message when the daughter comes back. Now I had another mother, her son's got some mental issue plus drug issue, And you can tell sometime when they're going down and when they're up. This one here, if he's up, you can hug him, you can pray with him, you can do things. And if he's down, then he pulls away when you hug him. So you can tell. But this particular morning, he had called his mom to come and get him. And he came to get a breakfast with her in the car, and he had heavy metal music blaring, like blaring. I could hear it in my car. I said, God, what am I supposed to do? I looked over, tears are just running down her face. I said, God, what am I supposed to do about this? What am I supposed to do? I don't think I can just sit here. Thought came to me, go. Because one of the things I told you, I didn't felt I was seen or my son was seen. So that was. And I went up to the car. Then I told him, I said, look, his name, I said, you shouldn't have that music so loud. I said, I don't allow that here. And I said, plus it's hard on your mother's ears. And the tears are running down her face. So I put my arms around her through the window. I said, I see you. I see you. I see your pain. I see what you're going through. And you know, that woman, like she when she comes, you could tell that she knew I meant it. But I saw, you know, there's all these people out there, but there's also all these, their families, their neighbors, their friends, you know? But those two women were like very impactful to me because I felt I was like connected with them, their pain. And it's, like I said, it's such a journey. It's so hard to explain to someone. And then for someone to make big fuss of me, that I'm not comfortable with. You know, I enjoy this because me and you go back. But I don't think it's ordinary what I do.
It's not ordinary. No, it's
No. I
way
don't
out
mean
there.
I don't mean it that way. I think what I'm trying to say is that it's not something that I did to be noticed. I did it with a heart. But there's so many people with hearts out there. You just don't see them. I'm the visible one. But what about all the other ones that are out there? You take Charlene Summers. You take Melissa, who goes above and beyond her time. You take Elena Carson. They do things that nobody knows, but I'm telling people because they don't want the glory. And that's why I said, I don't want to make this about me. I want to make it about the community. And there are many, and there's another one, I'm trying to remember his name. He lives in the country, and he comes in the winter with his shorts. I haven't seen him in a while. And his shorts and long beard. And he'll buy them coffee. He's even bought sleeping bags, tents. Nobody knows about him. I wish I could remember his name. And then there's Lance, computer guy. He brings in stuff all the time. And then there's Bill and Ruth. Bill and Ruth are my joy because they make me laugh. I was number 1 with Bill. Now I'm number 26 on my way back down. And I love about them was that I had an accident, fell down a couple times, and I was hurting, but I had no one to replace me. So I would go in the morning. I think it lasted about a week or two. And I would just do the ones I knew I could do, and I would leave early. So Bill and Ruth, Bill and Esther, because they didn't see me and they were worried about me. All they knew is I lived in Beaverbrook. So they came driving in Beaverbrook until they found my house.
Oh, wow.
And I still want to cry about it. They said, are you okay? Can you imagine the kind of heart that those people got? But he's a brat. His wife is an angel, but he's a brat. If he's listening.
They love you. They love you.
Yeah, I know they love me. But anyway, he went for a bunch of tests. And I said, did you get the brat test? He said, what do you mean? I said, well, you're a brat. I said, you should have get that checked. Anyway, they're wonderful people. Those are the things that bring me joy.
So, yeah. And well, you're opening the eyes to people what can be done.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much if you just
No.
put your foot out there and say, okay, I'm going to try something and try and help.
And just do it. Just put that foot out. Do it scared. Someone said, "Oh, you're so brave." No, I'm not. I am scared every time I try something new.
Run a little black edge along your white here, sweetie. It's like a shadow. Just on this side, on the sand side.
On the sand side.
Yeah.
A little bit too much.
So what about nowadays? Are you still scared, or how do you feel now? Now, probably not. Are you used to it a
Well,
little bit?
I had a radio interview the other day, and
That would make you nervous.
That was a
coming out.
little nervous because I didn't know those people.
Yeah.
You, I know, and I like, but I'm still learning. Like I told God this year that I take the limits off of Him, off of me, whatever He wants to do. I'm going to do it. Like this coming here today, not afraid of you, but this stuff.
Just put a little white dots over your black now. Just cover up the line so it's sort of hidden a little bit. Yeah. Good job.
And I know there's more coming, and I don't know what it is. What?
So faith plays a big part in everything you do.
Well, in trusting God, because I trusted Him with my son, and He didn't let me down. So I do the same in life.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to see what the future holds, to be honest. It's like, I feel that for a couple of weeks now, there's something inside of me brewing. And it started from that night at the Out of the Coal fundraiser, seeing all these people and just being part of life again. You know? I don't think anybody well, I shouldn't say that because that's the wrong thing I'm saying. When you live a life very solitary, you are safe in that life and you don't want to come out. You know? So I'm coming out. Watch out, world. Just kidding.
We're going to take a little bit of white. We're just going to put some little sud edges around it, so like there's some waves coming in.
Yeah.
So just a couple. So just go in the shape of whatever you got for your sand. Yeah, just a little bit here and there. There you go. Loose, relax, enjoy it. Nice.
No, I guess what I'm trying to discover is who I am again, because I think I totally was lost. Mine are big waves. They're not little waves like
Who
yours.
cares? That's fine. Put a couple small, tiny ones back here, just
Well,
tiny.
I was going to make them bigger because
Tiny.
my
no,
life
no,
is
really tiny, because this is far away now. Remember,
Oh,
this is
okay.
the distant shore. Yeah, just like that even. That's great. And maybe one in the middle, between the two. There you go. Beautiful.
I'm an artist. Woo!
Woo, easy, just a few waves coming in on the sand. And then all artists really, you start to, so we take a little bit of this orange and white. This is the same color we used to make flesh tone, actually. And we're going to make our sand a little bit more pink.
And this reminds me of life.
It's layers, eh?
It's layers.
Those are these in Shrek. It's just layers, donkey, just layers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm going to frame that.
And then you take a little blue.
Oh, we got to do some more.
Yeah, well, whatever we do there, we're going to take some of the blue and just sort of wave it around and start creating some few little blue waves going through, working our way into the water.
Well, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to be 73 this year.
73, wow.
And yeah,
When's your birthday?
I
We
took
have
a
to
self
big
picture the
celebrate.
other day, and yeah, I see my age. God told me, yes, I'm old. But my heart is so young. What can I say?
Yeah, just
When
throw
do
a
you
few
want
blue
that?
lines in somewhere in your water just to,
A little bit too much. Huh?
it's all right. Even bring it right down into your sud, into your white.
Did I didn't do that right?
There we go. Beautiful. So, do you have have no intention of giving her up, or you love doing it?
I love doing it. Right now, Colette Lebedier, she's a teacher. She's going to be going to Guatemala, so she missed her flight, so she didn't get to go. It was a bad connection. But anyway, she's trying it again next month. So I have Scott 2 days, her 2 days, and me only 2 days. Oh, and I forgot my good friend Helen Hazelton. She's a joy. She's bratty like me, so we get along really good.
Got his cart there.
Anyway,
He's
but
sleeping and stuff.
I can't see myself giving it up
And if
because
they
when I'm
want
not
something,
there,
you can
I
ask
think of them. And to say that I would give it up, I don't know. It's I miss that. I pray for them every day. There's some stories, still some more I could.
Oh, I
stories
know. We
about.
could go on for hours and hours, but I think we got 3 minutes left. So what I'd like to do is like, maybe you can look in the camera and just tell them, you know, where you're at and come on down and help out. And even just to come by and say hi. Everybody in town should know who you are. You should have heard from every person in this community at one point or another.
I'm approachable.
And you're
I'm
right
not-
across from the library in
I-
Newcastle,
Yes, I'm across from the library
on the riverside there.
on the riverside. We have signs up there,
Jeremy's Mission.
Jeremy's Mission, and
Are you there every day of the week?
I used to be. That's the story I think I forgot to tell you. I was so tired after a year and a half, and I was saying, I'm tired. Somebody said, well, don't go for a week. I said, what? Don't go for a week? Yeah, just take a break. I said, I'm going to tell my kids they can't eat for a week. I said, would you tell your kids that? I said, if I'm supposed to have some time off, God's going to provide. And he did.
So that's when you started getting some help
Yeah.
and getting some break. Okay, well that's really good.
And again, the beautiful people of the Miramichi, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your kindness, for your generosity, and your faithfulness. And to the churches, there are many.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Who's helping you now? Who are some of the people working with you now?
Well, like I said, the community church, that's
Yeah.
Colette Laboutier.
Okay.
Point Church, who brings the breakfast. Genesis Project. And my church, Skyway to Heaven. And there's also all the churches that I can't name because there are so many,
Oh, wow.
who bring in with funds. Some bring eggs. We had a lovely lady had extra eggs yesterday. She brought some eggs down.
I want to thank you for tuning in to McGowan's Canvas Miracles and my good friend for coming in and spending some time painting a beach scene and having some fun. Thank you again.